start over.
Social distancing. Human beings are social creatures by nature. We say hello and goodbye with hugs and handshakes, and we stand close to each other to show we care. When we're upset with someone, or if we're worried they might be contagious with an illness, we tend to keep our distance. When COVID-19 became a global pandemic in 2020, social distancing became the new normal. To keep our neighbors, colleagues, and loved ones safe, health experts advised us to wash our hands regularly and keep our distance from each other. Health officials warned that asymptomatic people could unknowingly infect the most vulnerable people in our society. A smile or wave from at least 6 feet or 2 meters away suddenly began to have more meaning. In many countries, the call for social distancing did not come at a convenient time.
So what is the call for? The call for social distancing did not come at a convenient time. Any idea?
Call for, that's mean name.
Inform mean inform. No, inform
or naming social distance.
Oh,
No, it means some kind of urge.
yes, means urging or asking
Yeah,
or
asking.
requiring social distancing did not come at a convenient time. You know, convenient time?
Yeah.
Convenient?
It's not easy.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Appropriate time.
Why wasn't it a convenient time? Why wasn't the call for social distancing at a convenient time?
Because it was at the time of a spring break.
It was a spring break. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, again, we have got the same problem. I don't know what's wrong with this system. When I stop it, it doesn't start again. Good. Let me refresh one more time. Oh, doesn't work again.
Social distancing. That asymptomatic people could unknowingly infect the most vulnerable people in our society. A smile or wave from at least 6 feet or 2 meters away suddenly began to have more meaning. In many countries, the call for social distancing did not come at a convenient time. Spring break was just about to begin, and many families and students ignored the warnings. Tourists hopped on planes or cruise ships and flocked to restaurants and beaches. Meanwhile, in other countries like China and Italy, the entire country was under lockdown. Before long, world leaders urged their citizens to come home and stay home. Social distancing became the law of the land, and flattening the curve became a common goal.
Okay. So, before long, what does before long mean?
Before a long time.
Means very soon, huh? Very soon. World leaders urged their citizens to come home and stay home. Social distancing became the law of the land and
flattening the curve.
Flattening the curve.
Flattening the curve. What does it mean, flattening the curve?
Reduce the
reduce the
rate.
Yeah. If you let me, I can describe that. Flattening the curve in the some of the disease, meaning that for example, it's very contagious. If the spreading is very, very high, so spreading going to the time that the health system is not have the good care of the people. And some of the people, because in in this problem maybe die. So lot of the country, such as the Canada, have the rule, for example, and the social distancing, they controlling the disease, and the number of the people that they involve the disease so decrease, and the health system have the good care, and a lot of the people so did not have the very dangerous diseases, and they not die for the problem. And the social community and the health system can control the disease in this way is the flattening. But when the curve would be the sharp, lot of the people have the problem, and a lot of the people maybe die for the disease like the COVID-19.
That's right. Okay. I have some information about flattening the curve. Um, it's actually like this. Let me show you the picture. This is the curve. Okay. When it is sharp, as Farzad said, it means that lots of people are infected by the disease, and since the disease is quite contagious and it spreads quite fast, so if this pressure is on the health system of a country, it means that lots of people may not receive enough medical care. So they may die easily just because they do not receive enough medical care. But if we flatten the curve like this one, as you can see, it means that fewer people in a slower rate is infected by the disease, and so the health system may be able to handle the situation.
Yeah.
That's the whole meaning of flattening the curve. Okay, this is a diagram that shows how what we mean by flattening the curve. Okay, so let me read the here
Noisy.
on the.
What is this noise?
Yeah, what's this noisy?
I don't know. Some people are
Like a
being
Like the breathing.
something. Yeah, like breathing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe it's the sound of this curve.
Okay, I have muted all. So if you want to talk, just uh, unmute yourself. So the meaning of flattening the curve is a public health strategy. So it's a kind of a strategy they're just talking about all the time on TV, on the radio, everywhere, to slow down the spread of SARS or CoV-2 virus during the COVID-19 pandemic. The curve being flattened is the epidemic curve, uh, a visual representation of the number of the infected people needing health care over time. During an epidemic, uh, healthcare system can break down when the number of people infected exceeding the capability of the healthcare system's ability to take care of them. Flattening the curve means slowing the spread of the epidemic so that the peak number of the people requiring care at a time is reduced, and the healthcare system does not exceed its capacity. Flattening the curve relies on mitigation techniques such as social distance. You know the meaning of mitigation? Mitigation techniques. One of the mitigation techniques is social distancing. It means reducing the contact. Okay, so when you're reducing the contact or exposure to the virus, that is called the mitigation technique. A complementary measure is to increase healthcare capacity. So another trend is to raise the line. So to raise the line, it means to increase the healthcare capacity. As described in an article in The Nation, preventing a healthcare system from being overwhelmed requires a society to do two things. Flatten the curve, that is, slow the rate of infection, so there aren't too many cases that need hospitalization at one time, and raise the line, That is, boost the hospital system capacity to treat large numbers of patients. As of April 2020, in the case of COVID-19 pandemic, two key measures are to increase the number of the available ICU beds and ventilators, which are in systematic shortage. Okay, so these are, so there are two techniques, two mitigation techniques that are being taken by the authorities in order to be able to control the spread of the COVID-19. And if you remember, I showed you this map, I showed you this site on the Canadian government, and I would like to show it again because we have still lots of people affected by COVID-19. And if you play this, you see the number is still growing quite fast in many provinces, as you can see, especially in Ontario and in Quebec. We have got lots of people affected by COVID-19. And so it was sharp at the beginning. The increase was sharp at the beginning, but later, as you can see, it changed to be flattened. You see, here, especially in Ontario, it is flattened. It is not that sharp. But in Quebec, in some of the cities, like I think it is in Manitoba, it is still sharp, but it is going to be flattened. This is Ontario. Ontario, I think, has been able to flatten the curve. And this is Quebec. Quebec has been very successful, but still it has got 51,000 cases. In Ontario, the situation is much better. It is only 28,000. And in Manitoba is 295. Okay, so still we are in serious problem in Ontario. As you can see, the number of the cases is too high, even higher than most provinces except Quebec. So that's the more information I was going to share it with you. Let's continue our listening.
To stay connected during the COVID-19 pandemic, many people turned to social media networks. They began sharing inspiring messages and tips, and even using social media to teach, study, or work online. In this difficult time, social media regained its original purpose of keeping humans connected and informed.
Okay, so what is the first gap?
Social media.
Social media networks. Okay.
Social media.
And the next gap is
Connecting.
Connect.
let's read the sentence. In this difficult time, social media regained its original purpose of keeping humans
Connected.
Connect.
connected and informed. Okay. And the last paragraph.
For some, social distancing means spending more quality time with family and pets, and getting back to hobbies such as reading, drawing, or doing jigsaw puzzles. For others, it means losing a job, missing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, or not being able to say a final goodbye. How has the COVID-19 pandemic changed your way of living?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Quality time.
Quality time.
It is quality time. What does it mean, quality time?
Quality time is golden time.
Pardon?
Good time, stay with your family.
Yeah, good time.
Going to a restaurant, for example, spending time with friends, talking, drinking coffee.
So for some people, social distancing means spending more quality time. For others, it means losing a job or missing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. What does it mean, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity?
Maybe they had a